wise man cometh.
Please, show some mercy.
Mercy? I'm afraid that my condition has left me cold to your pleas of mercy.
Holy smokes, Batman! We're on a podcast! What's up, you Cape Crusaders? I'm joined by my fellow heroes or villains, you decide, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite movies, Batman and Robin. Yeah, so you guys can introduce yourself if you want.
Emphasis on your favorite movie.
Yeah, duh. Well, there's Kyle. He had his moment to shine.
Yep.
And he blew it.
And he blew it.
What?
I'm
I thought it was
Trevor.
okay.
I'm Trevor.
Is it Trevor time?
You sound so disappointed, Trevor. I'm Trevor.
And I'm everyone's favorite.
Yep.
Hannah?
Yep.
Okay. So I would love to have this be a positive podcast about this movie, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and you will get the chance to express that, but not right now. Okay. So my
Hannah
first.
just straight up explodes.
Too much positive energy.
Can't contain it.
Okay. So my first question is, and we're gonna go in opposite orders, so I'm last. So we'll go
Okay.
Trevor, Kyle, Hannah, then me.
Okay.
Okay. So first
You're not
question.
gonna introduce the movie, like.
Oh, I guess I could.
Robin.
No, we're just gonna start with questions. That's how this is gonna go.
She's doing everything backwards.
Yeah, everything backwards.
We're actually watching the movie after this.
Okay. This superhero adventure finds Batman, George Clooney, and his partner Robin, Chris O'Donnell, attempting to foil the sinister schemes of a deranged set of new villains, most notably the
Melancholy.
Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who wants to make Gotham into an Arctic region, and the sultry Poison Ivy, played by Uma Thurman, a plant-loving femme fatale?
Femme fatale.
Femme fatale. Okay. As the dynamic duo contends with these bad guys, a third hero, Batgirl, Alicia Silverstone, joins the ranks of the city's crime fighters.
Cute.
So there's that.
When was it released?
1997. Summer of 1997.
So technically, your boy wasn't even alive yet.
You're welcome.
You dated yourself.
Okay. Now we can start with the first question.
Wait, how long is it?
Oh my god. 2 hours and what did we say? 4 minutes?
Yeah, see,
and
there's your first
53
problem.
seconds. Positive, Kyle. Positive.
No, because it's not long enough, Gigi. That's why.
Oh, well, I've never had that issue before, so.
Oh, I guess that's a good thing.
Anyways, first question.
What the fuck? Oh, jeez.
Okay, the concept that the director would direct or tell the cast was that this is a cartoon. In your opinion, would it have been done better if it was indeed like a cartoon, taking into account the stunts being done and the dialogue taking place?
I said yes. Cartoons aren't as limited in what can be done, especially back then. Not to mention, it would have easily portrayed that comic book feeling. A live-action Batman movie, especially following the other ones, may have misled the audience for the feeling that the director was trying to get across. I think if they added in that like kapow and bam, those I don't know what those are called, but if they added in those, it might have helped portray that comic book feeling. But there was none of that. It was just all live action, and I think that again that comic book feeling wasn't really portrayed accurately.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Could have been portrayed accurately, but they kind of dropped the ball there. Um, I think, I think yes as well. Um, but here's my theory, and I haven't done any research on this film at all or any behind the scenes. But I think it's fair to say that this movie was a flop. Um, and I don't think it was until after the critics released their thoughts on the film did we hear about this concept from the director about it being better as a cartoon. I think it was probably like his excuse that he used of why the movie ended up being so bad. And I just like to imagine he's just like, oh yeah, well, it would have been better as a cartoon anyway. So yeah, that's why it was not that great. So I think he just made that excuse to try and save his own ass. But with that being said, I don't think it's the worst excuse that he can come up with. Because I do think it would work better as a cartoon. I think, um, or it would make it believable at best. Because there were some silly sound effects that were thrown in there, and
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think overall, just the idea of these characters, with the exception of like Batman, because he was pretty bland. A lot of them are really, cartoony. I mean, you look at Mr. Freeze; he's just this. I don't even know how to describe him. Very, you know, out there and crazy, and you know, I guess that works for a villain, but usually when I think of a villain like Mr. Freeze in this particular setting, I think he would work better as a cartoon than a live action character. And that goes for a lot of the characters in this movie. So yeah, I think cartoon version would have been better than this.
I would say yes, but also they would have to fully commit to it. I think the main problem with him stating that this was supposed to be like a cartoon is that he did not go full on that commitment.
Mm.
You know, he like added elements that were very cartoonish, but he didn't go far enough, and that's what misled a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like Trevor was saying, it was live action and it was following, you know, the Tim Burton ones that were dark and more serious in tone. And so to follow that with this in the same vein and not fully commit to, you know, creating something new and something more cartoony, that's where, you know, you kind of trick the viewers into thinking that um, that they're getting exactly what they got before, um, even though you're trying to change something. So I think it would work better as a cartoon, but I also think it would work better in live action if they just committed to it, kind of like the '66 Batman with Adam West. You know, they didn't take themselves seriously at all,
Yeah.
and they had fun with it. And I think, you know, this movie, if they did it in that style, would work. But I think because the director was very committed to taking it seriously, but also trying to change it into his cartoon version, he just, you know, ended up with a mixed bag instead of committing one way or the other.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with everyone as well. I think it would have been better as a cartoon, um, given the I don't know concept that they were trying to go for. Like I agree with Hannah. Like they either should have gone all the way or not try it at all and just stayed with the dark, brooding Batman theme that was the Tim Burton's. Well, they weren't all, but they were more than this one. So yeah. Next question. There are 27 ice puns in this movie. Which is your favorite? Also, it's a lot of puns.
Yeah. This isn't really a pun. I think it's just a really bad joke. But my favorite is the what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Just for like his delivery. Like he was so enthusiastic about that. And, like it's
Yeah.
not even funny and it barely makes sense in the context just because he's freezing this large dinosaur.
Yeah.
But like it's just so hilarious. Like the whole context of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wrote down the same one.
Oh my god.
But I did come up with a backup just in case. Where is it? It's kind of after that. The first fight with Mr. Freeze and then Batman and Robin. Mr. Freeze freezes Robin, and then he takes the. I think Robin had the diamond in his hand, and then he took the diamond out of his hand. And then he's just like, "Stay cool, bird boy." It's just like, bird boy, really?
He's a Robin, obviously.
Well, yeah, but it's just like, oh. So yeah, I picked that one.
I had two. One was when he's like, "Let's go kick some ice." It doesn't even make sense out of context.
Yeah.
No.
That's obviously not a word you would use for ass.
Yeah, it doesn't even
But
rhyme, actually.
just because, exactly, it doesn't even rhyme, but it's so just random and it fits in so well that it just worked for me. And then the other one was when he like pops out of the tank at the I think it's the benefit. The dining benefit, and he's like, "Cool party."
Yeah.
So dumb.
Mine's actually when he opens it up. I think it's at the benefit as well. When he's like, "All right, everyone, chill," and then he starts to freeze
Oh, yeah.
everyone.
And then he kept saying chill. He's like, chill.
Chill.
Like, dude, we get it.
I don't think you do. He needs you to chill. Oh, man.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the next question, it was create a positive tagline for this film.
Oh, that was quick. Okay. For mine, I was telling Hannah last night, I am super proud of the one I just came up with, and I'm still proud of it.
Okay.
And that is, hold on to your bat nips, it's about to get cold.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Thanks.
So proud of that one.
Okay, I just realized that I screwed up because I put something different. Like, I just realized what a tagline is.
It's okay. I didn't realize what it was until Hannah and Trevor explained it yesterday.
Yeah, because I think when you were explaining it at first, you said something about like
the cringeworthy.
Yeah. So that's what I wrote. I went with that. So I just wrote down a bunch of like adjectives describing the movie positively. I just kind of wrote what came to mind, and there was like 10 of them. I said adventurous, spontaneous, wicked, wacky, fun, laugh out loud, ball busting funny, quirky, risky, family fun. That's it.
Nice.
For my tagline, it was actually very similar to Trevor's, so I'm glad that I was like on the same level with him on that one. It said, "Batman and Robin. It's a bit nippy outside."
Oh my god.
Baby, it's nippy outside.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I have two, but I think I'm only gonna say one. So, I put if you love rubber suits and nipples, boy, do I have a movie for you.
What was the
Shades
other
of
one
Grey.
though?
My
You
other
can't just
one was
advertise too.
Yeah, way to
I
tease
put
us.
I put rubber nipples alert. Hide your babies.
Hide your babies.
What?
Because the babies, like the
That's positive.
bottles,
Oh.
they have nipples. Yeah, babies like rubber nipples.
But
You're
what
gonna
are you
milk
supposed to
me
use
too?
as a meat shield?
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Wasn't that in Meet the Fockers where Robert De Niro had the rubber nipple?
I
He was
think
like,
so.
That sounds familiar.
Well, I remember him
oh,
going like, "I have nipples. Can you milk me?"
yeah, he said that in Meet the Parents. He's like, he said something about the cat's nipples or something,
Oh
and he's
god.
like, "Well, I have nipples, Greg. Can you
Mickles.
milk me?"
Oh man, I haven't seen those movies in forever.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah. I remember enjoying them.
I think I've only
Anyways,
seen Meet the
nipples.
Fockers. Okay. So the next question is: This was the first live-action movie to have Batgirl on screen. Do you think she needed more time, or she deserved more time?
What was that?
Hannah, we're almost getting there.
Okay. I would say, from what I'm about to say, she needed less screen time. Um, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I think they should have cut out the motorcycle stealing and the racing, because it really didn't do anything for the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be about her story and development.
Well, see, the whole point she was there was to, quote unquote, like buy Alfred's freedom, like to get him out away from the Wayne family, out of that servitude. Servitude.
Service dude.
Yes, service dude. But the motorcycle racing really didn't. Well, I guess
That's how she got money.
that's true, but still, like,
It's a
get
very
rid of it.
thin plot line.
Yeah, just keep it with she's there on the pretense that she's on a break from university, and then kind of show that she's buying Alfred's way out of there, and then she finds out about the Batcave and then becomes Batgirl. Like, just leave it at that. Like, keep the motorcycle racing out of it.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna say yes, she needed more screen time, but only if
What?
they rewrote her character because it was pretty awful. And that goes with pretty much everybody in the movie. But with her specifically, yeah, they need to rewrite her character and it would have been better because I like the concept of Batgirl, but
Just the concept, though.
yeah, not this version. I couldn't, I don't know, I couldn't care for her at all. Like I didn't really care about what she was doing, and when she was on the screen, it was just like, whatever. But I mean, that's no disrespect to the actress. I don't personally know like any movies that she's in. I don't know if she's like famous or not, but I just didn't like that character in this movie. So I think step one, just rewrite her character, make her more likable or favorable. Step two, do that to the entire list of characters and the plot. Step three, bam, better Batgirl, better movie.
Profit?
Cards Kids Humanities here.
Yeah.
Or, South Park.
No.
What is this
Okay.
South Park you speak of?
For me, because I'm a huge Batgirl fan, I would have given this version of her no more screen time. In fact, I would give her no screen time. I am not a fan of what they did to this character's backstory. There could be many versions of Batgirl, but if you're going to go with the Barbara Batgirl, you
Yeah.
better get the story straight. And so, like, I feel like there's such a better story with the original character because she's not related to Alfred. She's the commissioner's daughter. Like it makes sense why she would know some like hand-to-hand combat and stuff because she's, been raised by a cop her entire life. So for them to like completely butcher that into she's just this, college dropout that, got kicked out of her university and street races to make her seem cool, it's kind of an insult to the character altogether. So, like Kyle said, there's no hatred for the actress, Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
I think we only saw her in Clueless before this. But, she was just doing what they were paying her to do, but just whoever wrote the character this way, I have no respect for.
You're trash.
Plot twist, the actress wrote the character.
Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, so for me, I am in the same boat as Kyle. I think that they need to rewrite her. Personally, I also agree with Trevor with the fact of like motorcycle scene really didn't do much for her. I guess just to show the interest of her and Robin, but like meh. But I think if they like had introduced her like, oh, she showed up out of nowhere and then she found the Batcave, like that would have been my preferred first scene for her. Because I also am a big fan of her, and like I was a kid, like I just remember being so happy that there was a female version of Batman, and I was like, that could be me. I could be Batgirl, and like it was awesome to see on screen, like as a kid, because most superheroes are either guys, or I mean I didn't know about Wonder Woman back then, so like it was just amazing to see like a female character kicking ass. And she wasn't a bad guy. But yeah, I think they should have started her like as Batgirl a little earlier and then changed the whole plot for her. But yeah.
You know what's the coolest part about Batgirl too? Like the original Batgirl? She was just a huge fan of Batman. She never like found the cave or anything. She was literally making her own costume to try and prove herself to Batman so that she could join him.
Look at
Like,
me,
how
Master.
much better of a story is that than what they gave us in this?
So we get it. She's a stalker.
Yeah.
Pops out of nowhere and says, "Hey, Batman, I'm you now."
Okay, well, if you want to break it down as bad,
Just kidding. Oh, okay. Chugging along here. Okay, next question. So this is two different questions because I don't believe Kyle has seen the first three, which were directed by Tim Burton. So,
Correct.
I have two different questions. So this is for Hannah and Trevor. I don't know how you guys want to answer them. If we should just do it separate? Or just
do
keep
Kyle
going in...
first, since you
Okay.
said he hasn't seen.
Okay, so Kyle. Would this make you want to watch the Tim Burton versions? The first three.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was one of those series that I was wanting to watch anyway, regardless of this movie. But yeah, now I want to watch it because I want to see where they went wrong when making this movie. Mostly.
I want to see what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm picturing Kyle just like sitting like an inch away from the screen, and he pauses like a moment, and he just points at us like right there, right
that's where it went wrong.
there. That's where it happened.
Oh my god.
I've always been intrigued by the one with Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I have no idea if it's a good or bad movie, but I want to see that someday. And then I'm pretty sure Jim Carrey is the Riddler in the third one, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see those ones just because I'm intrigued by who's playing as the villains. I don't know much about the first one.
Jack
like
Nicholson is the
Yep.
Joker.
Yeah.
the Joe. Okay, yeah, okay. I remember that.
Tommy
now.
Lee Jones is Two-Face.
And there's Catwoman, who?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good
Ooh.
cast right there.
Good Catwoman.
Cool. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna watch those movies someday.
I have them, so if you want to borrow them, just let me know.
I do have a follow-up for Kyle, though. Like, if you had just seen this movie, which in your case you have now, but you had no other context for the other ones, like you may not even know that the other Batman ones exist. If you had just seen this movie, would you pursue more Batman movies, or would this steer you away?
I think I would, because I'm sure, I don't know exactly how specific you want to get with the scenario, but I'm sure I would look at like the year that each movie came out and realize that these ones came out before this one. And I'd probably be like, oh, well, these ones came out earlier, so maybe they're not as bad, just based off of history of movies. Like, they tend to get worse as the years go on.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I would
sequels
still
continue.
Yeah, I would still pursue watching these movies, the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, so now for Trevor and Hannah, do you think this added to the Tim Burton movies?
I would say no. It didn't really have a Tim Burton feel at all. There were some moments where the lighting had a sort of Tim Burton feel to it, but that was pretty much it. Like Tim Burton, he has like a very unique style, kind of like I guess like a Hot Topic gothy type style thing, sort of. Like
He's the origin.
it's very specific with Tim Burton, and this had like none of that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it would be a hell no from me.
Hell no.
But-
No.
I agree with Trevor completely about the stylistic choices, because, I mean, I think I was talking to Gigi about this, but the first two are very dark, just in tone and color. Like, every shot is, like, dark and brooding and mysterious, and there really is a huge lack of color in those. And they gradually, kind of got a little bit more colorful in the third movie. But this one's just like an acid trip worth of color. Like, everything's bright. Like, I've never seen Gotham City this bright before. And it's just, it totally makes you notice the difference in style between each movie, because it's like, wow, the Gotham I knew is, supposed to be dark and dangerous, and this one just feels like any city that you could walk into at any time.
Any Sky City, all their buildings were like fucking in the middle of the sky.
Yeah. That made no sense.
I know. The observatory. Yeah, it's just on this like 20,000-foot man in his hands. No big deal.
Yeah. It's almost like Columbia from Bioshock Infinite. So everything's just like floating way above where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't feel like Gotham City to me. So I was just like, yeah, this didn't add to it at all. Like, you can definitely tell where the style changed.
Yeah.
Well, even on the third one, I would say, too, because I don't think Tim Burton directed it. I think he just produced the third one. But you can tell there's, like, a difference in that one, too. And that's why there's more color and, more tone lightness a little bit in that one as well.
Yeah, it says a Joel Schumacher. Schumacher, yeah. But it's produced by Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Producer, you can just tell, like, when Tim Burton's a producer versus when he's a director.
Yeah.
There's definitely a shift.
That's kind of interesting that he directed both of those last two movies. Was the third one, like, was it good?
I don't think it was bad.
It was better than the fourth one.
So,
But you can
Batman
see the
Forever.
shift. For sure.
yeah. so maybe that's where it went wrong.
Kyle's
Where it
just
started to
sitting
go
in his
wrong.
room.
Yeah.
The first frame. It's like Batman Forever. He's like, yes.
I have like this whiteboard just in my room with like
Oh my God.
like a million different drawings, and I'm just pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, okay, where did it go wrong?
Charlie from It's Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like red strings like connecting like all these dots.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But none of it makes sense.
So yeah, didn't add.
Okay. No, I agree. I think it should be a standalone. I don't think it should be associated with the other three, but it kind of makes sense that it is seen as the same director as the last film in that trilogy. So, okay. Next question. You can only pick one bad moment, if any, in this film to talk about.
If
Just
any.
one.
Just at the end, Batman's solution wasn't smart. Like he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, but his solution
Sherlock?
basically was just violence, and that's not Batman at all. Like he's supposed to outwit everybody by doing this, and like he's thinking like 10 steps ahead, and it was just, hey, let me punch this guy, let me use these gadgets and hit that guy and kick this person and whatever, and like it wasn't Batman.
I
Are
disagree.
you saying it's like more mindless violence than like strategic violence? Because I would say Batman's first
I was
go-to
gonna
is
say-
violence, but
Yeah.
like, I think it's more strategic than this movie let it be. Like where he would be like, okay, this guy's here, that guy's there. I can take out this guy first, then that guy, and then go on that guy. And then,
Yeah.
like, he comes up with a battle plan beforehand. But this
Yeah.
one made it seem like he just busted in there, like, hey, everybody, I'm Batman.
Well, yeah, that and like he knew about Poison Ivy's pheromone thing, and he didn't do shit about it at all, except for Robin's little
lips.
lip thingy. That was it. Like there was no like, oh, I need to like formulate this serum that'll like
Or like a filter for his nose or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
like he didn't prepare for anything at all.
Yeah.
He just put glue on his lips, Robin's lips. That's what it looked like. He just like peeled back glue off his lips.
Oh, like when you put glue on your hands as a kid and
Yeah.
you just peel it off.
Yeah.
Negative for me. One negative. How about
One.
not enough Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, I didn't really enjoy the duo of Batman and Robin. I just don't think it was believable. George Clooney, I mean, yeah, sure, he's a good actor, and I'm sure he tried in this movie, or maybe not because of the whatever reason. But in my opinion, I feel like he's the worst Batman that I've seen. And in my defense, I haven't watched every single Batman movie, so I don't know if there's anyone that's worse, or who's the best or anything like that. But I just feel like his character was really boring and like vanilla. Like I just feel like it was hard to like believe that he was even the main character of the movie. It felt like the villains were more of the main characters just because they got so much screen time, and
I
that's
agree with that.
that's fine. I mean, I kind of like actually enjoyed Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. I mean, yeah, they're over the top and not the best well written, but at least they had some kind of, unique quality about them, and they were, entertaining to watch. But when it came to Batman and Robin, like they were just so boring, and I couldn't get behind them at all. Like they were just like there was no emotion behind anything. And I know Batman's not like, the most bubbly person in the world, but I just feel like George Clooney wasn't doing it for me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, just the duo between Batman and Robin, really, that was the negative, which sucks because that's supposed to be like the main point of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And it's top 10.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the writing is the biggest negative for me because there's so much opportunity for this movie to be a good movie, and it seemed like at every turn they just, whisked that away. Like the dialogue is cheesy and they relied on way too many puns all throughout. Like it didn't matter if it was just yeah, innuendos and puns was the source of humor. All the characters were written half-assed, like not even considering any growth or depth or anything. Everything was written for the sake of plot convenience as well. Like, does anybody even remember what Batman's girlfriend's name was? Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I remember they were like talking about maybe getting married, but
talking about getting married.
Yeah.
then they were
Yeah.
like, nah, we're too young for
Just-
that, or whatever.
Exactly.
We're in love.
Like, if they had wanted to flesh out that character, we should have seen that character with Bruce Wayne a lot more. And we should have seen Bruce Wayne a lot more. And I feel like we didn't. Like Kyle said, I totally agree that the movie was shifted to feature the villains as the main characters. Bruce Wayne, even Robin at most of it is easily forgettable. And, the fact that they could get away with writing in a Bat credit card is just, it tells you everything. I just,
Never leave the back game without it.
if they were going to make this movie what it was, my original problem from the beginning of this podcast was the commitment. Like when you were asking about would this work better as a cartoon, either way, if it was a cartoon or live action, the entire script lacks any commitment to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wrote it all willy-nilly. They didn't want to commit to anything. They didn't want to commit to the characters, and this is what happened. So, if this movie had stuck to its guns and either did something like the 66 cartoon where they just didn't take anything seriously, it would have worked. If it would have worked also if they had, stuck to their guns and taken it completely seriously and written a better script. But because they stayed in the middle ground, we ended up with this like vanilla half-assed movie. So
Yep.
the writing is the biggest problem for me.
Shots fired.
Yes. Things I've learned about myself today. My taste in movies are trash.
Aw.
Wasn't
There's no
I'm
shame.
blaming the writing of the movie.
There's no shame in anything you like. You can like whatever you want.
Thank you, Kyle.
Do you, boo?
I'll continue to enjoy this movie without you guys.
Just in secret, Trevor finds her like watching it.
I know. I'm just hiding under the covers watching it.
Every once in a while, you hear a
Okay, so my scene or my negative for the film was I didn't like the whole thing with Batgirl and Robin. Like the whole trying to Robin just seems like predatorial. Like he's just like, oh, please be for me when she shows up, and I don't know.
Well, except way more creepy than that.
Yeah,
yeah.
right off the bat. Just, oh
right
my
off the
God.
bat. Yeah, so
Robin wants to hump any lady that comes in his 5-foot diameter.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a 15-year-old horny guy.
Right? Yeah, that was my least. That's my negative. I do not like that. I do not.
I did not.
I do not. Okay. So those are my questions for everyone. And then we have our usual questions to go over. So we'll start with the Rotten Tomatoes rating. So the tomato meter, it's at 11%. And the audience score is 16%.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Still going backwards?
Yes, still going backwards.
Yeah, I agree
She's
with
asking as if she's like, "Do you agree? Please don't hurt me."
I'm,
Oh,
I'm
man.
fine with 11%. I don't think I need to give a reason for that.
Yeah, it's all been explained.
Oh,
I
man.
agree. 11 is generous.
Damn.
She's like, that should have been negative.
Negative 11.
That should be a dead tomato.
Yeah, I mean, I agree for all the reasons we explained throughout the podcast. It just needs a whole rewrite. I mean, it's not going to happen, but that would do it good. And I think
Do it good.
a lot of people could probably make a better movie than that. It's not the worst in the world, though. There are worse movies out there.
GG.
I guess.
What would you
Come
give it?
on, be honest.
Yeah, what would you give it?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
I don't
Based
know.
on like all your nostalgia for it, all the things you
Oh,
loved
man.
about it, like
She'd give it a 90.
What?
what would
No.
you give it? Like honestly.
Yeah, base it off of your sentimental value instead of how the movie is.
I'd say probably like 30 or 40. Like watching it now, like as an adult versus as a kid, like I was obsessed with this movie. This was like my go-to movie for like the longest time. But like I don't know, hearing you guys talk about it and like you guys pointing out things, like I'm like taken out of that kid memory of the movie, you know? And then I'm looking at it and I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, that is bad. But at the same time, like I'm still like enjoying it because that's what it was. It's nostalgia. It was what I loved watching. So yeah, I'll give it 30.
Yeah, I mean, despite everything that we've said about the movie, it doesn't mean I didn't sit there and enjoy it. Like, I think that's the main takeaway for a movie for me is just if I enjoyed it or not,
Yeah.
regardless of how it was presented or what other
If
people
I
think
can
of
make
it.
fun of it, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. Just in general, my level of enjoyment out of 10 is probably like a 7. Like I enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it. So
Yeah,
I enjoyed
there's that.
watching it with you guys 10 times better than I would have if I had just watched it alone.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
That's
Especially
what I
now.
was gonna say.
Yeah, it could fall into
Like,
that
there's-
category.
No way I would have watched it by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sorry
Same.
sorry to be the ones to peel off your rose-colored glasses, though.
Yeah.
Mr. One.
It must have been Ivy.
You need those rubber glasses.
I do. Oh man. Okay. So what would you change about the movie?
I already stated it in number 4, the
Yeah.
one about Batgirl. I would just get rid of the motorcycle part. That's it.
I would. It's tough because I feel like it's stuff that I've already sort of explained or talked about.
Yeah. I know.
But-
When I read that, I was like, it's kind of like parts of the questions I asked.
So I'm just gonna say a different character or a different person for Batman and Robin. I mean, I don't want to get greedy, but like both of them, just
Both of them. God.
someone I can care about a little more.
Question, Kyle. Would it have worked for you better if Robin was younger?
That was weird.
if you're gonna keep the writing the same, yes, because he was very immature, and
Yeah.
I just feel like it was off-putting the way he acted because he seemed like like a 25 to 30-year-old man,
Yeah.
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 but he acted like a teenager.
Yeah, I'm just going off of like, Robin in the comics was like 12. So
Oh,
if,
there you
if
go.
you know, Robin had been like a little kid, maybe his attitude towards everything would have made more sense, but it
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
probably would have worked better in the gist of this cartoonish younger audience movie.
Mhm.
But I don't
But
think there would have been any, oh, I don't need you, I'm gonna go solo type
that's
shit.
true.
True.
No. That's probably why he had to be old.
Yeah. But we didn't need that part of the movie anyways.
No.
Yeah.
We did need him dunked in that ice cream dough.
For me, like I already explained the writing. I think the main thing I would change with the writing is committing to the characters more, giving them more to grow. I personally enjoy movies where a character starts one way and ends another, and they show that growth over the course of the movie. And I think for these characters, there's a lot of room for them to grow. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's easily parts where they hinted at, you know, little problem areas for each character, but they never committed to letting them develop. So, you know, if they really dug in on the characters, really did some studies on what those characters are about, what they represent, what they could possibly represent to, you know, an older audience or a younger audience, I think this movie would work 10 times better.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes. So for me, I would probably change. I kind of go with Kyle, like the duo between Batman and Robin. Well, like everyone said, like it was just awkward, and the fact that maybe if Robin was younger, I think maybe not like 12, but maybe like high school Robin. That's it would have made a little more sense for how he was acting. I think he was supposed to be early 20s though, but he looked a lot older. Um, but yeah, the duo between Batman and
The
Robin, like,
dynamic between them.
dynamic. Yeah, it wasn't
Wasn't
there.
dynamic.
No, the dynamic duo wasn't dynamic.
Breaking news.
Live. Yeah, I think. Oh, and then the last
Favorite
question
moment.
is favorite moments.
My favorite moment is Uma Thurman going, curses!
Oh man,
Um,
that's good.
yeah, I got to go with. It's kind of a tie between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman, because they were really what kept me engaged in the movie for the most part. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw Bane in there too because he was kind of funny.
Bomb.
Bomb. But I liked Uma Thurman's character. She was I know she was very like sexualized and all that, but I think what made it work was the actress behind, you know, the character. I think she really took it and did everything she could with it, and I think that was definitely a positive for the movie. Because you know, I mean, the acting's there. It's just the writing that was really not that great. And then when it comes to Mr. Freeze, I just think anytime he was on screen, I was either laughing or cringing, but like cringing in a good way, if that makes sense. Like it was entertaining, so I was like, oh, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I just think those two, they really, like anytime they were on the screen, that was just like my favorite moments in the movie, just because something I could sort of be interested in, and they were a dynamic duo that was better than the main character dynamic duo.
I have to say my favorite moments of this movie were all the ones with Bane. This is like the bomb part is hilarious, but like The fact that he could drive a limo with his little, like, shady coat and hat on.
The
Yeah.
photo from the airport.
The photo from the airport, like, the
Oh
fact that
man.
it takes them, like, barely kicking the tube off of his head to completely disable him. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the goofiest version of Bane that they've ever made.
Yeah.
It's so good. I will say, though, I think I would have liked Mr. Freeze better if they had written his character smarter. Because Victor Freeze is, like,
A
an
scientist.
intellectual,
Yeah.
you know, he's intellectually comparable to Batman, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the coolest thing about him is like he can outsmart Batman. So if they had written him smarter and if he had like actually had some clever things to do, I think I would have liked his character a lot better. But I did like what Arnold did with him because it was a crack up.
Yeah. Okay. My favorite moment. I love the intro to Mr. Freeze in the museum. Mostly because of his line with the dinosaurs. And then I also like the fact that he has his henchmen singing the Christmas song. But they're like too frozen to sing, and they have like frozen dinners that are like frozen solid. And he's just like trying to conduct them.
Yeah, was he
To
was
see.
conducting?
And he had those polar bear slippers on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like tapping his feet. Oh my god, that scene. Oh, guaranteed that makes
So ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all the question.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about that we maybe didn't get to?
Didn't get to cover.
Alfred's storyline.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even think we mentioned him at all. That's
No.
how unimportant he seemed in this movie.
How he was apparently a slave to Bruce Wayne and needed
Yeah.
to be freed.
I think the only redeeming thing is they gave him the same disease that Nora Freeze had.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to link him to Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Too convenient, though, that he had it right in
Yeah.
his freaking
Yeah.
wristwatch. And, like, did she have just a worse version of it, which
She
is why
did.
he couldn't cure her?
I think so
Or-
because
He had, like,
in that
stage
little
3.
computer,
Yeah.
it said like stage 1 complete, and then I think something about stage 2.
And stage 3 one.
Yeah.
So he
Okay.
figured out stage 1,
Hmm.
which Alfred conveniently had.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Or when he pops up in the middle of her jail cell. Yeah. Just bing.
I know, you look like freaking like Buzz Lightyear or something.
Right?
Just lighting up in the corner like, I'm your cellmate.
I did think it was a little confusing because he went to jail, so why would they give him like a weapon in his suit in jail?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
'Cause-
Arkham Asylum. They do crazy shit.
Yeah, but before when he was in there, he didn't have his equipment or his weapon, and he had to stay in this cold beam of light or whatever it was in order to
You know,
live.
That was one of the
Yeah.
things I didn't like. Was I love the design of the outside of Arkham Asylum. It looks all spooky, but the inside, like I feel like all of those cells should have been like doctors' rooms or like padded cells, because like Arkham Asylum is for the mentally insane,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this just made it look like a prison,
Yeah.
Not
like some
just a prison,
dungeon.
but like a barely funded prison.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it is.
I guess I just would have appreciated more if it was like, if it gave the feel of an actual asylum.
Yeah. It just gave it more of like the dungeon jail. You're whisked away to the tallest tower in the
Yeah.
biggest building.
Yeah,
Just let down
exactly.
your hair, Rapunzel.
They throughout this whole movie, they really like their statues. Like
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah, they
had like
did.
50 statues in like every building.
Yeah.
Or the building was being held up by a statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy set design.
They were like, we have a CGI budget. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, seriously. Like, they fought. They fought in an ice cream factory. I remember that game or that level being really fun in the Lego Batman game because it was very colorful, but like
That's it.
it's real.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say about this movie.
There's one question though. This is like the fourth movie in that series, and it falls victim to the three villain, doomsday thing. Does this movie or Spider-Man 3 work better?
I have to go with Spider-Man 3.
Because arguably, like, both movies have the three villains and they kind of all fail because there's too many of them in the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I just feel like for me, I feel like whatever I say, it's going to be biased because I really enjoy Spider-Man as a whole, and especially the Tobey Maguire movies. So it's really hard for
Spider-Man's
me.
whole.
Yes. In a nutshell. So it's hard for me to judge it because I really enjoy all of those movies, even the third one, just for different reasons. But I don't know.
Like Toby's dancing.
I feel like the third one is more easy to take seriously than this Batman and Robin movie. That doesn't mean that it's just an all-out serious movie. There are really ridiculous and cringy stuff in Spider-Man 3. And that's what makes it laughable at times. But it's still on the same course as, being serious, and they tried to make a serious movie, and I think they did it better than Batman and Robin. So I think just like, what am I trying to say? As a movie between the two, I think Spider-Man 3 is a better movie than this movie.
I agree with Kyle.
And I, like Kyle, am biased, so I'm gonna pick Batman and Robin.
But Gigi's dancing Spider-Man.
But the Bat card.
I think I agree with Kyle that, like, if you look at both of them in the sense of them being sequels, there's not a ton of shift in the Spider-Man movie. You can still identify it as, yes, that's a Spider-Man movie from the Sam Raimi trilogy. Whereas this one, you could be like, I don't know where this Batman movie came from. It doesn't match any of the others. So, yeah, though the writing is not much better in Spider-Man 3, I would say that Spider-Man 3 works a little bit better.
Interesting.
Yes. Love me some Spider-Man 3.
What did he say? Now it's stuck on this or something like that?
Yeah, and just start snapping his fingers.
Oh man, I gotta say though, that song's actually a really good song. I don't know if you guys have ever actually listened to it, but it's a good funk song.
I can't listen to it and not think of that. So.
Oh yeah, me either. Me either. That's the beauty of it.
Oh my god.
Gigi, you want to wrap this up?
Sure, I don't know how to end it, so.
Well, we can tease what Hannah's movie's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Do you
I
have
don't
one?
know. I don't quite know what it's going to be yet, but
Oh.
it is going to be our first animated movie. I can guarantee that.
Oh,
Wait,
cool.
this one wasn't animated?
Oh my god.
Should it have been?
To the Batcave!
Yeah, animated movie next.
Yeah, so
Okay.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, you
bitches.
losers.
I called
You-
everyone a Cape Crusader, and now you're just mocking them.
Well, everyone's a villain now.
Yeah.
That's
I
That's
still
right.
made your acquaintance.
okay. Bye.
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 Bye.